Those YouTubers, and I'm here to finish something that I should have done a long time ago. Sonic Mega Collection. Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's been far too long. Should have dealt with you long ago. So, are you the best damn thing Sonic's been in ever? Or are you just an overhyped piece of nostalgia fodder? The simple answer to that is no. To definitely the second one. The first one, but I'm here to tell you why. Let's get straight to the plot because it actually means something this time. After Robotnik, Eggman. Eggnig was beaten last game, and Island has mysteriously appeared at its sea. Sonic and Tails go and check it out. Either showing off or just wanting to get this over and done with, Sonic goes super and approaches the island, and oh my god, who is that? Some mysterious... What the hell is an echidna? Echidna gives Sonic the uppercut of his life and steals the emeralds. Well, we just can't have that, can we? So we now have a reason to blast through 14 zones with 2 acts each. Sonic 3 and K is quite a step above Sonic 2. The stages are larger, and I feel the design and platforming are better. It doesn't feel like enemies cheap shot you, and while the paths may be a bit more section off, if you do miss one and are forced into another one, it doesn't feel as jarring as it does in Sonic 2 to me. I just feel that it has a better overall flow. Halfway through a zone, you run into a mini-boss, a nice little addition to the game with a very catchy tone, if you're playing Sonic 3 alone. What highlights these mini-bosses is that from act to act, the zone might change, sometimes very small, but other times it might be very drastic, and the zones themselves vary differently from each other, from an island on fire to an underwater theme park to a lava cavern. From there we run into the boss. Could it be that red thing that we ran into at the start of the game? Nope, Eggnig. Well, unsurprisingly, we take him out and we try to get on our way, but that red prick seems to want to stop us. I'm getting real tired of your shit, guy. But I bet you're wondering how we're doing all of this. Well, Sonic comes back as fast as before, and he's got some new moves. While he can still do the spin dash, he seems to have picked up a new skill that lets him become invincible for just an instant. That's right, we have the Insta-Shield, but his brief invincibility isn't its real attractive point. But it is really rad. No, the thing that gets the Insta-Shield is that it gives you a larger attack range for jumping on enemies. Then enemies slightly out of reach, Insta-Shield. You about to whiff your attack? Insta-Shield. It saves the day. Something new to the game are elemental shields. All shields can bounce off small projectiles, but each have their own properties. The fire shield does as it says on the box. It protects you from fire, and it also gives you an air fire dash. It's really awesome. The water shield lets you breathe on the water, and it also gives you a bounce attack. Not as awesome. The electric shield attracts rings, gives you a double jump, and it protects you from the rare and exclusive electric traps in the game. They're very shy. But I know what you're thinking. All of this sounds wonderful, but that can't be it, right? And you're correct. It does get better. Through the power of lock-on technology, or just simple porting, this game combines the features of both Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. You see, this game has a weird name for a reason. Be it cart limitations or a push to launch, this game was split into two. Some features were cut here and put there, and vice versa, but together you get the full experience. A save file for both games, and it keeps track of your emeralds, continues, and lives, but most importantly, you can run through this game with 3 different characters. Sonic's fun and all, but Tails and Knuckles are here to play, and they want to bring something new to the table. Tails' flight allows him to take the game and rake it across the coals. He may be slower than Sonic, but his flight time and speed more than make up for it. The only problem I can see people having is against bosses. And even then, that's only because Sonic has such a glaring advantage against bosses. Unless it's Marble Garden boss. But that's something personal. His tails are just so small, and Eggman, He's so big. There aren't any rings. Knuckles, on the other hand, is pretty much a less broken Tails. I find his gliding and climbing of walls to be completely fair, and the extra ease it brings to the level is quite enjoyable. Most people would refer to him as the hard mode, but that's mostly because of the bosses, at least that's how I perceive it. Knuckles' jump is shorter than the others, so it's a hindrance. Or they could just flat out make the boss fights harder, that's also a fair option. And Lava Reef Zone, because Lava Reef Zone. Unless it's bigger on boss, and it's quite ironic because his lower jump makes it harder to mess up. One thing that's really great about this game is that each character have their own routes through the game. Not so much in the Sonic and Knuckles sections, but it's very apparent in Sonic 3 sections. It doesn't happen often for Tails, and really it's just a shortcut through Sonic's main way to get through the game, but it's very apparent and different for Knuckles. It's just that it can feel pretty dull at times. They pretty much make it clear Knuckles can glide by giving you gliding challenges over a floor full of spikes. Or, like Launch Base Zone, they could send you to a brand new area and make it feel like a brand new experience. It's a good template, 3 similar characters that handle a bit differently, nothing too drastic, but a nice noticeable touch. At worst it can feel like a difficulty select, at best it can feel like a genuinely new experience, or a new experience in general. The presentation in this game is top notch, from the sounds to the sprites. The music in this game is as varied as the levels themselves, and it's one of my favorite soundtracks in the series. The levels themselves are vibrant and colorful, or dark when they need to be. Each zone sports their own batnet, making them very different and distinct from each other, and special in their own right. The parallax scrolling combined with the backgrounds give you a good sense of speed and depth. Include stage transitions, and the island has this very connected feeling. Couple that with secret rings and you get a feeling of exploration. So I guess I never did explain the secret rings or the special stages. Well, with most likely the best way to get into a special stage out of any Sonic game that I've ever played, aside from the ones that just handed you the emeralds, you have to find secret rings throughout the stages. If you rub your face against most of the walls you find, you'll generally find about double the amount of secret rings that you need to get the 7 emeralds. And the 14 emeralds when you use lock-on technology. When you find one, jump in and prepare to get more blue balls than you've ever gotten in your life. But who am I to judge? Maybe you've gotten more. Who am I to tell you how to live your lives? The name of the game is Scavenger Hunt. Get the blue spheres. If you cover all the edges of a square, you turn all of the spheres into rings. Get all the rings, and you get to continue. But we have a save system, so F that noise. With all 7 emeralds, you can become Super Sonic once again and teach the fear of touch damage to others. The irony's delicious. But for those of you who want more, as I stated before, through the power of lock-on technology, you get another set of 7 emeralds. Collect all of those, and you get Hypersonic, Death Incarnate. Jumping twice kills everything on the screen and gives you an air dash. But don't just do it for Sonic, Knuckles himself also has 2 forms. Tails has 1. Get all of the emeralds. All of them. A few nitpicks aside, this is a game that I can easily recommend to any and everyone overall. I just think it's a fantastic game, even if you don't generally play video games. This game is so easy to just pick up and play and just all over your controller, and just it's such a good time. Unless you really don't like the genre and you really hate video games, why are you here? But secondly, don't play it. I can't recommend it. I could easily give this game a 5 out of 5. Why aren't I giving it a 5 out of 5? Well, to all of you viewers out there who are watching my game reviews, I don't feel the need to give points anymore because, well, at the end of the day, I'm giving a recommendation. I by no means think it's arbitrary. In fact, giving points very much helps me in writing reviews, but that's a different video for a different time. Basically, what I'm saying is, if I can't equally grade pretty much every game on the same scale, there's a problem, and I probably shouldn't use numbers, because then I'm just as bad as your school system, and I'm better than that. But shitty grading school systems aside, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is by far one of my favorite Sonic games of all time. One of my favorite games of all time. It's as old as me, and I just have this genuine love for the thing. So do yourself a favor and pick it up. In fact, pick up all of these games. Maybe not these two games. And it takes a very special person to like this one. Pick up all of these games, because if you play Sonic 1, you'll have a very much a deeper impression of Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. It just makes the experience all that much better. And again, that's another reason why I'm holding 3 and Knuckles up so highly. It very much improves on everything that comes before it, and it does what I think a sequel should do best. So that's Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Until my next video game review, matao.